What's up, fanatics? James Brown here. Thanks for joining the Glad's Horror Channel, the best horror channel here on YouTube. With the recent Chucky TV show debuting next month, I figured it'd be perfect time to review the entire Child's Play / Chucky series. We're going to get started today with the very first one. So hit the intro and let's get started. So Child's Play was released in 1988, directed by Tom Harlan, starring Chris Sarandon, Alex Vincent, Catherine Hicks, and Brad Dourif. The movie starts out with a chase scene in a dark alley. Officer Mike, played by Chris Sarandon, who you might remember from the Fright Night movie as the main head vampire, is chasing the Lakeshore Strangler, Charles Lee Ray, aka Chucky, played by Brad Dourif. You might remember Brad Dourif from the Jonestown Massacre movie that came out that was made for TV a few years prior. So Charles Lee Ray's partner, his getaway driver, got scared with the gunfire and drove off, leaving Charles stranded, and he ducked into an abandoned toy factory. As he's trying to get away, he gets shot again. After being shot, he stumbled into some good guy dolls, and through his voodoo that he learned during his time of being a strangler, he uses his voodoo to transfer his soul to the good guy doll. Enter Andy, played by Alex Vincent. He wants nothing more than to have a good guy doll of his own, and today happens to be his birthday, so he just knows he's going to get one. When he wakes his mom up super early in the morning, played by Catherine Hicks, he opens his gifts that are wrapped and presented somewhat similar to what a good guy would be, and when they're not, he's extremely upset. But his mom says, "Good guy,
ain't nobody got time for that,"
because she doesn't have the money to pay for it. So after seeing the sadness on his face, she'll stop at nothing to get this good guy doll, even buying it from this handsome looking fellow over here. Let that be a lesson to you parents. If you cannot afford a brand new doll or toy for your child, just get him something different rather than get something secondhand, because clearly he may end up getting possessed from it. So Andy's mother, having to work late, asked her best friend Maggie to babysit Andy and his new best friend Chucky, who Maggie is not a huge fan of because he kind of creeps her out. A few minutes later, her suspicions are realized when she gets a hammer to the face and falls out of the window, being killed instantly. So Officer Mike is the first on the scene to investigate, and after seeing some good guy footprints in the flower leading up to her death, he assumed that it was Andy that did it. Andy's telling everybody that it's Chucky. Neither his mom nor Officer Mike believe him, of course. But as he continues to stand by this and continues to say that it's Chucky and something's not right with him, then his mom is starting to get suspicious. And in one of the best, most suspenseful scenes in all of horror cinema, the reveal of Chucky is absolutely awesome.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
The fact that he was talking without batteries for the entire first portion of the movie, and just the reveal of that is one of my favorite scenes ever. So once she notices that it's him, she runs to Officer Mike to tell him what she knows. He also still does not believe her until Chucky tries to kill him. Then of course, obviously here he believes. He turns 180, lets her know who he was prior to going to this doll and who he hung out with, which was a man named Dr. Death that taught him the ways of voodoo. But before Officer Mike and Andy's mom can pay Dr. Death a visit, Chucky is already there, and Chucky uses his own voodoo against him to kill him, but not before finding out that the longer he stays in this body, he would become more attached to the doll and can never get out. And the only way he could get out is if he was to swap souls with the very first person that he ever told his secret to, which happens to be Andy. So Chucky goes on a rampage trying to find Andy, and this to me is when it gets a little bit off the rails. I liked everything leading up to this. Everything leading up to this is why I'm such a huge fan of Chucky. The thing for me that I'm not a huge fan of is the death scene is entirely overdone. And I understand you are fighting against a doll that takes a lot of suspension of belief anyway. But They did everything to this doll, and he just kept coming back, and it just got a little overdone to me. They could have ended that last act, I would say maybe 5 minutes or so, a little sooner to have, to end. But that's just me nitpicking. I really think this is one of the best movies of all time. Chucky has a certain thing about him that is terrifying. He's a doll, which is already all dolls are creepy in a sense as they are. The way that he moves, the way that he just enjoys everything that he's doing, no matter who he's terrorizing. And Tom Holland did an amazing job with the mood and just the tone of this movie. From this, and again, I've already talked about how much I love the scene of the reveal of him actually being alive to Annie's mother. That's one of the best pieces of film I've seen, and it goes to show in horror that you don't need a lot of over-the-top theatrics. All you really need is some well-placed tension. And another thing that about Child's Play is his amazing score. The overall feel is very uncomfortable and very horror-inducing. And it's one of my favorite themes. The end theme is one of my favorite themes in all of horror as well. So for me, after rewatching this movie countless times and watching it with a fresh set of eyes a few days ago, I give this movie a strong 3.5 out of 5 stars. It would have been higher for me. The only thing I just can't, the end, the kill, the final scene to me is a little over the top, a little overdone. That's my only nitpick gripe with this movie, which otherwise is absolutely fantastic. And from this movie sparked a litany of Child's Play and Chucky movies that are all great in their own way. And we're gonna go through the rest of them in a few weeks over the span, and I'll rank what I feel about them at the very end. So that's my video today, guys. Thank you so much for joining with me. If this is your first time here, leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with whoever else likes horror. This is the first one that I'm doing, the Child's Play series, but in a week or so I'll be doing Child's Play 2. We'll just keep this rolling. So here at the Glads, I love talking horror. I love all things horror. I do horror reviews. I have a series going on right now called The History of Horror. So if you are looking for a great horror channel, this is the one to go to. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.